Good morning, and welcome back to Jody Lewis Creations. And welcome to the first day of December Daily. I cannot believe it. All right, so what you see before you here is I printed out the Advent calendar. I wish I had printed a little bit bigger. I tried to blow it up, but then it was like going into other sheets, so we'll just deal with this. And this will be nice because it's going to tuck into or even be a belly band at the start of our journal. So I'm day one. Thanks, Tracy, for letting me kick off December Daily 2024. And I am assigned to a Christmas anthology. So what I thought I would do is I would possibly try to do like a home for the holidays thing in my December Daily, because why not? Here I am with we woke up to over a foot of snow this morning. So I'm filming this on the 29th for reference, and we have a huge lake effect snow thing going on. All of the Great Lakes are warm right now, so it's greatly impacting our weather. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I see my subscription numbers going up. I'm guessing that's in anticipation of December Daily. My goodness, there's a tickle in my throat this morning. Okay, so I'm assuming that the increase in subscribers is due to the anticipation of December Daily. If that's the case, thank you so much for coming over to check me out. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. So day one, here we go. Yesterday, after we were all fat and happy after eating Thanksgiving, I printed out a few things. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I always wait till the last minute. So here we are, last minute, figuring out what I'm doing. I printed a few images doing home for the holidays. And I felt like, you know, if you followed along for Creep on June, you know that I spin stories. I have a lot of fun with them. And so I don't know where I'm going to go with this month's creations, but I'm starting with home for the holidays, the cardinals in the trees. We have cardinals that live here. That's home for me. That says home for me. I think we have two sets here right now. I'm waiting to see them out in the snow. It's going to be so pretty. But anyway, so this is an image out of the Christmas at the Cottage bits story, the pages that are assigned to that. So I love the cardinal. I have here a picture of Grandma over the dining room table, pulling up to Grandma's house. And this just reminds me of my brother and I decorating the tree. So I'm younger than my brother, and this just speaks to my heart. So that's that. And I printed out one of the freebie background pages to use for the back of that. I didn't print it double-sided. My printer and I were having a little chat yesterday. And then I have a couple of other images here. See, having a chat, it cut off my bits here. And then just a few extra things that will probably come into play as we work in this journal. So if you are new to my channel, you won't know that I have the Festive Compendium kit printed. That's what I was going to be working with. So I have all the ephemera bits cut here. I did that when we were watching TV last night. And I have a journal that I have started to build. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm going to do my best not to overwhelm on day one of December Daily. I got to keep it simple, Jody. Keep it simple. All right, so here's what we're going to do. This is a piece of a package that my husband had gotten from Amazon, and I was like, ooh, I love that. So that's the inside of my journal, and this is wallpaper on the outside. Now, it's folded in half right now, but I have not sewn anything in. I haven't made a full decision. I haven't made a topper because I don't know how big this is going to be, and I want to make sure that as we work on this, it has the room to grow. Like, it does have room to have a bigger spine. So, but I'm not forcing that. So I'm not going to be working in this, so to speak, as much as picking pages in here to work on. And, gosh, I am so sorry. I woke up last night doing this too. It's driving me crazy. So I think what we will do is maybe start with a pocket on the front page. So that way we can put our anthology bookmark in here, hey, we'll use this as a bookmark. Wouldn't that be great? So then we can check off, have I watched the video for the day and have I created for that day? So that's how I'm going to use this. So that's great. I'm just going to jot a little note on here. So create a bookmark. And then we can use that daily as our guide for what have we done. Okay, so kind of what I wanted to do is, like, for me, I've started out the holiday season by putting up trees. Now, I will show you my tree that I put up in my creative space, which is new this year. I've added a tree to our attic room because it's like a center window that faces the highway, so I thought that would be really pretty. And last night we set up the big tree, but I'm waiting on a bulb because my angel's bulb went out. So let me show you the tree that's in my creative space, and then we'll get busy. So this is the tree that's in my creative space. And yes, I have a skeleton hanging out by my tree. I also have some presents as I'm doing the 12 days of Christmas swap with a couple of friends. And then if you'll note here, of course, there's the kitty to represent Chloe. And I've got my Christmas clusters. I received a set of clusters, so those are on here. So just some little decorations, the cardinal, because that represents visitors from heaven. And I'm just going up, 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 up. And yes, I have a little skeleton as part of my tree topper. So there's that. And then that's just a peek out the window so you can see how much snow we got overnight. And that's a peek out the front window. That's the big tree up front. Just lots of snow this morning. Okay, so back to this. So I think I just want to start out here like day one. You know, I want to leave myself room for adding some other things that I have here that I want to add already. I've gotten Christmas cards already and things like that. So my goal is to just make this feel like having a grand time being here for the season. So what I'm going to start out doing, of course I'm going to start out doing this, is I'm going to add some interest to the tree. I really want to give it some shimmer. Maybe put it like she's got a little glittery bow in her hair, which no, I did not have as a little girl, glittery bows. And but my brother and I used to help decorate the tree for my great-grandmother. So this, to me, is really sweet and nostalgic. So what I'm going to do is use probably some embossing powders, my stickles, see what I've got here to bring the tree to life, bring her little bow to life, and then figure out how I'm going to compose my page. I'm having a talk with myself. I have to keep this simple. So I'm not doing stickles because those take too long to dry. So let's just do, this is some clear glitter. I don't think I want clear glitter. This looks like a nice antique gold. So I think we'll go with a nice antique gold. And I think maybe we'll just do just some clear, if I can find it. Just a little bit of clear, just to kind of bring the tree and the reds to life. We'll do a little bit of gold on the star. I'm hoping that's not too much gold. And, oh, I could do glacier paste. Glacier paste dries quickly. I don't have to worry about it being like stickles. It'll do what I want it to do and is going to give me more color variety. Yes, it will. So, some gold, some white. I have red, some red, and I think we'll start with that. I'll get this painted on, and because I do it really thin, it dries quickly. And maybe a little green, but there's not much green in this picture. Probably no green. And I'm very nervous. Just so you guys know, I'm super nervous being the one starting out this month. So apologies if I seem out of sorts, because in all reality, I'm very out of sorts. So this is such a treat to be able to participate in this collaboration, and a huge honor to be able to start the month. I'm just really nervous. So I'm going to get this painted on. And if you're new to this, you don't know what this is, or you've not seen it, glacier paste is just like a wonderful, wonderful way to add shimmer to your pages. So I just put a little bit on the end of a paintbrush, okay? And it doesn't take much. And then you just kind of paint it on the images that you're wanting to highlight. And it does dry. You have to give it a minute to dry. I mean, I wouldn't just stick my finger in there right now, but it just brings your pages to life. It adds a lot of interest. It's a wonderful way. You can do this on scrapbook paper, on the digitals. I do give the caveat that, like, I have an inkjet printer, and if you have an inkjet printer, you know that the images, the ink can bleed when it gets wet. So just be mindful of that. Be mindful of what products you are using. And if you're new to a product, don't do it on a page where you're like, oh, I'm going to do this on my most favorite image ever. And then your ink bleeds or something. Like, test it on a piece that doesn't really matter. And then you'll kind of know how your ink is going to react to products, because, you know, the whole thing about doing this is that it's supposed to bring us joy and happiness. And so if we do something like ruin the image that we're totally in love with, that would steal your joy, and we don't want that. So just allow yourself time and space to practice and play and see what you can come up with and just how things react for you. That way you're not frustrated with your project, because nobody wants to have that frustration of a project that we absolutely love, and then, oops, I got it wet and now my ink has run. And I've done that in the past working on projects, and usually I have to come up with a workaround. But again, if you're new, you may not know that the ink from an inkjet will bleed. So, and maybe I'll find something that doesn't matter, like one of these mistakes. Where's the mistake print? What did I do with it? I'll find the mistake print here in the pile. I'm going to continue to paint this. I will just do a little bit of water on that mistake print, just like a little drop, and show you, like, here it is, what it does, so that way you understand getting your project wet, what happens. So just going to do a little bit on this one. And then I will let that set for a second, and that ink, it'll start to bleed. So just let's give it a second here. And is it gonna make me out to be a fibber? I'm not a fibber. Let me let it sit. Did you guys see me get her wet? So now I have a whoopsie that I'm going to have to cover, but you can see what the water did to her. I've done my glacier paste on my Christmas tree. Chloe, you are so in the way right now. And then see how my ink ran? When you let it set for a second, it runs. So just be mindful of that with an inkjet printer. If you're new to my channel, Chloe is my cat, and she is my companion, and she is up on the table beside me right now. She already stuck her foot in the lid of the glacier paste. Luckily, it wasn't full of glacier paste, because that could have been bad. I think I want to put something in the center of that star, but I don't know what yet. Like, I think maybe some little gems or crystals or something. I'll figure that out. Okay, you moving? Thanks. Okay, so we have the white edge around this. I don't want the white edge on my image, so I'm going to trim that off. And then I want to maybe put, because I'm going to go with home for the holidays kind of theme. And did you see I got my Christmas jewelry on just for you guys? Oh, I could put him in the front as my pocket. I could. Okay, I have to think about this, because I had kind of a plan last night with how I wanted to lay this out, but now I'm second guessing myself. Oh, I like him with the music. Okay, I'll figure that out. Okay, so I want to embellish my cardinal a little bit, and so I have here from Sticks out of the yard, and these are still left over from Christmas in July when Mark was like getting sticks out for me for my snowman's arms. And so I just want a couple. I just want to see what's gonna lay here nicely. It doesn't have to be a lot, like, you know, I just want a little bit of dimension. And for those of you who normally follow me, you know that I'm not supposed to be here right now. So my Christmas journal is just going to be whatever makes me happy and whatever I decide to play with in the moment. So I'm going to get my diamond dust. I'm going to take a little bit of tacky glue to this, a little bit of diamond dust, and oop, I broke that, but that's okay. It'll lay flatter now. I just have to be careful that I don't break it as I'm putting diamond dust on it. So then it's going to be like he's sitting on a snowy branch, and that's going to give us a little bit of texture. Okay, so I've glued 3 little gems there. I have the glacier paste on my ornaments, on her little hair piece. I've stitched around this. I've also inked around the edges with my ground espresso, and I have folded this in half. Now, obviously, I don't want this showing. This was part of my printer and I having a little conversation yesterday. But I want to put this in my book on this half of the page. And hopefully it's going to fit. Now, if you watched this video, I had difficulty getting these cut. It was just a different beast getting those cut. So I'm not going to worry too much about it being perfect, but I do need to cover this, and I'm going to leave this a pocket. So that means I need to cover and make sure that that's stabilized, okay? So what I'm going to do is not put that in yet, not glue that in, just sharing my intention with you. I do have here my cardinal with some diamond dust, drying, and a couple of sticks here out of my stash, but that glue has to dry. But I'm going to put those, where he's sitting on them. So those are set aside to dry. That's just a little bit of tacky glue and some diamond dust on the sticks. If you don't have diamond dust, you can use glitter. That's fine. And same with on the tree. I wanted it to be like the tufts of snow on the tree. I may come in with a little bit of glacier paste and add a little bit more glitter to my tree. But there are very simple things that you can do to actually bring your images to life. And if you follow me, like if you're new, then this is one of my favorite things to do. I love doing this. Probably the people who have been following me are like, really? Again, you're doing this? But yes, I am, because it makes me happy. So this is drying. I have to wait on this to dry. I should have backed him before I did this, but it's okay. It's going to be fine. I'm not that worried about it. And I'm not sure how I'm going to back him, but he is going to tuck somehow with this piece and be a flip also. So yes, it's another interactive piece for me because that's what I love. And I want to just go ahead and in case I didn't already say it, because again, I'm super nervous. I am going to just play with whatever speaks to me this month. I want to do the things that make me happy. So if it's adding bits and pieces in from things that we have done, that's fine. I have a plan for some Hershey's Kisses wrappers that I want to play with, things like that. So while I'll have my daily videos, there may be some little add-ons here and there, just so you know.
So it's actually my favorite when the sun pops out and the snow's blowing around and it looks like glitter blowing. I don't know if that's reflecting in the video or not, but I do love that with the sun out and the shining on the snow. It's just like little kisses of glitter flying around.
I'm so distracted. Have all this snowplow action going on and people plowing their driveways and the sun popped out and I'm like, oh, it's so pretty, but it's really cold. Okay, so I have my cardinal piece here and I did add a little bit of glacier paste to that. And again, you can do this with glitter, glue and glitter, glacier paste, Nouveau Mousse, pins. I would urge you to use caution using the Spectrum Noir pens because again, on inkjet, this is going to make your ink bleed. And then this is what it did, like it's dry so you can see it, and then the back side really lets you see like what the inkjet does when it gets wet. You could use a jelly roll pen. There's lots of things you can use to add the shimmer to your pages if you don't have the products I'm using. So don't think, oh, I don't have the glacier paste. I don't have. Just look in your stash and see what you have. You probably have something to make things sparkle. So I folded him over to make him a little tuck. And I measured that, but it's optical for me. This looks off center, but I think it's centered. And I left a little flap here because I'm going to hinge it. And what's going to happen is I'm getting ready to glue this to the back side. What that's going to do is allow this is going to attach this to the inside top of the pocket. So it's not going to block my pocket. It's still going to allow my pocket to be functional, okay? But it's going to allow my cardinal piece to flip open, okay? And I'm trying to get that. I don't want it right in the crease because that's going to impede my fold. Yeah, if I got that right in the crease, it wouldn't allow my piece to lay as flat as I want it to. So I have that. And then what's going to happen is, hang on. Sorry, a tractor was going by. It was going to be really loud. Or a backhoe, whatever. Anyway, it's kind of fun seeing these little guys out with their plows. It's the first snow of the season. So I think people are more so playing and they're trying to help the community get the ends of the driveways cleaned out. But anyway, so now he's going to flip open. This is going to flip open, and then we'll have our Christmas tree. But we'll also have a pocket here and a pocket here. So now what I need to do is, I was measuring this. I do want to ink around my craft paper. And I want this right to the outer edge. And the reason I want it right to the outer edge is keeping in mind, this is going to be stitched in. So I have to be really careful that I'm not going to be in such a position that this doesn't have enough room to function when it's sewn into my signature. And so like it'll look like this is gonna open. That's the wrong, oh yeah, it'll open like this. But when it says in here, I have to, do I have enough room for this piece to function? And I'm pretty sure the answer to that is no. So I'm going to push it out a little bit. Now what that means is, once this is all sewn in, this is going to be poked out a little bit this way. So I will put an extension on this piece, which I need to figure out before I glue all this down, okay? It's a little bit more complex, but when I cut these, I didn't cut them to be 12. I cut them 8.5 by 11, and that's all on me. Do I have more pieces? But wait, there's one more. So I could cut another one, but I'm not going to. I want to put some trim here. I think it'll be fun. So I'm going to pick out some trim, so that way I don't mess with this piece having room to move. So I'll get a piece of trim on here, figure out what we want to do there. Then this can be opened up. This is going to open. This is going to open. And then we'll have our cute little image for the start of our December. Okay, so I just took some packing paper, and if you get packages and you get this paper in them, I hope you're saving it. It's a wonderful, wonderful piece of paper that you can emboss, you can stamp on, you can make ruffles out of, you can make pockets, you can back your tags. It has endless, endless uses, and it's a way to repurpose like what's coming in our packages. I love this stuff. Like, I literally have a brown bag full of it in the closet. Okay, so I stitched a ruffle, and I had stitched down the middle, and I thought, gosh, that's really wide. I don't want it that wide. So I just tore this off. Now, I'm not going to throw that away, even though I probably should, but I'm not right now. And if you don't have a sewing machine, you can fold and glue a ruffle. It's been done so many times, you probably don't need me to tell you that, but I'm going to tell you that anyway. I'm just going to run a bead of glue along the edge of my page and put that on there and let it dry. I did spray it with, what is this? Crooked Broomstick. So this is actually a Halloween collection mica spray. But just because it's a Halloween color or a Christmas color or whatever, it doesn't mean you're limited to only use those colors during that specific time frame. What I did is I picked up all the golds. I looked at the bottom because the mica was sitting in the bottom, and I said, oh, I like that. That's a deeper gold. And I went with it. I didn't really care what the name of it was. So yeah, just don't think that your colors, just because they're named for a certain time of year, you can only use it then, because that's just, I'd never get my products used if that's what I did. So I'm going to glue this down along the edge. Then what that's going to allow for is, see, when this is open, excuse me, oops, when I get this glued down, it's going to allow me to push that out just a little bit. And then when this is closed, if I can hold it all, my hands are not cooperating, then you're not going to see that, but it allows us to have use of the pocket in the back. So I hope that makes sense. So I'm going to get this glued down. I'm going to get this glued in. I'm only going to glue along those 3 edges. Oh my goodness. Oh, my husband's out snow blowing. I was like, what is that? That's what all the noise is. I hope that all that noise is not coming through with the tractors and the snow blower going. But anyway, so yeah, I'm going to get these glued down, and then we still have to figure out what we're going to do with Grandma and driving in. So I have to get those backed with something as well. Still some work to be done. And, you know, I'm potting around and playing around today. You don't have to do this, but I encourage you, when you sit down for your December dailies, absolutely find inspiration from the videos that you're watching, but also do what makes you happy. Like whatever it is that speaks to you, you know, is it using this birds? I know Tracy just released the winter birds kit as well, and I haven't even looked at it because I have to stay focused. I love cardinals and poinsettias. I love the rustic feel of the festive compendium. So I'm going to try to work this in to everything, and then work with the stories as well. But for now, Christmas at the cottage, you know, I'm saying that's like home for the holidays, right? So that's where we're going. I did already say that. I'm going to get this glued and I'll come back. Okay, so it took me a while to get in a groove, and I had to make myself stop getting distracted by snow plows and snow blowers and tractors and all the stuff that's going on here this morning. Oh, so anyway, okay, so we have what will be our first signature, and I've gotten that glued down, and I do love the shimmer that's on that. I think it came out so nice. And you could even do that with just gold ink or gold paint if you don't have the sprays. Like, just think about what's in your stash and what you would be able to use maybe for in additional ways other than just what it's intended. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask in the comments. I'm more than happy to help share the things that I have learned by trial and error. Okay, so like this will be in our journal. And so we'll, you know, have our whatever, it's going to open up, and then we're going to have like our day 1 here. And I'm contemplating making little tabs for like day 1, day 2, whatever, obviously throughout the days of December. I just haven't gotten that far yet in my thought process. So I'm going to consider that. I have to go get some lunch started because I've waffled so much this morning. Thankfully, my nervousness has like settled, and so I'm able to like kind of find a creative flow, but we'll see. Okay, so then he's going to flip out. And so I'm thinking we need a tab of some sort that says, hey, you know, pull here. I don't have room here for this. So I'm going to have to do the same thing up here as well. So I don't know if I do something at the bottom. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that. I'm not that far yet. But I think if I do numbers, then it will help me with that. So if you're new to my channel, I do share my thought process sometimes. I most of the time, I'm absolutely not an organized crafter. I just run with it. I kind of had a plan last night, but then, you know, when I got started this morning, I was like, what am I doing? So anyway, it happens. And one of the things that I will tell you is that I'm very real with you. I share mistakes with you. I share upsets with you. Like, oh, I didn't mean to do that. Now, how am I going to fix it? Rather than just, this is what we're going to do, and here's the finished product, and isn't it perfect? That's not how I roll. So I hope that you can appreciate that. Okay, so Mr. Cardinal opens up, and he's our little visitor from heaven, because cardinals can represent visitors from heaven. I'm still waiting on his sticks to dry. So we're going to open this up here. I have this image here. This just reminds me so much of my brother and I. And I will just say that he and I were rocks for one another in very difficult times growing up. So I love the sweet image of that. I always love going to my grandmother's house. It was a safe space for us. And so I did change images because I felt like this is more of a country setting. Grandma didn't have a log house, but anyway, she was definitely rural in the country, and I loved it. So I've matted that with some wallpaper that I have here. And then I've backed it with craft card and just inked around the edge of that. I think I want to stamp some design in this, but I don't have all of my Christmas stamps down here, so I have to figure out where my stamps are. Or even just maybe put a sprig of like pine or holly die cut or just something to embellish the back of that. So I'm not there yet. And I was debating on whether or not to put a piece of trim here as like a pull. I don't know. There's nothing on here yet, but I thought maybe I will print out a picture of the snow that we are dealing with right now, because that might be kind of fun to have on there. And then opens up, and here we go. I still haven't fixed her little dress. I think I may get a bigger paintbrush and just glacier paste her, because that will hide that. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do. I thought about putting a bow at the back of her dress, but it wouldn't be high enough to cover that mistake. So I need words. I need some words. So I need like sibling love here or something like that, because that's what that is. And then I feel like we need something like deck the halls, or I don't know, for this page. So I'm not completely done yet. And I don't have a card for in here. So I have to figure that out too. I did print this, and I thought, you know, that would just be a beautiful journaling card in there. So, because you could write on that. Black ink would show on there with no problem. But I don't know yet. So I'm not that far, but I just wanted to come back and show you like where I am so far with this. And I will finish getting it put together. And the main thing that I hope that you can obtain from this video is just play with your images and do what speaks to you. Pick a part of the story, pick one of the images and say, oh my gosh, this reminds me of when, and then go with that, you know? Because I think that that's what we have to do. We have to pick images, or pick, you know, things that remind us of happy times and things that we love, you know, and then just go with it. Just go with it. It's much later. We've had lunch. I think my little tree is pretty much, for the most part, dry. Dry enough to put in, I think, without messing it up. It has been like crazy on our road. If you guys know, I've said before, like, there's just enough of a hill here that people will use it for a racetrack. Well, apparently people are having a difficulty with, well, not apparently, I mean, people are having difficulty getting up the hill. Even four-wheel drives are slipping. So this group of younger kids, I say, probably my son's age or so, young 20s probably. Anyway, they got stuck and they were trying to get up the hill. Uh-oh. I moved that. I gotta not move that because I broke it. Anyway, they were trying to get up the hill and just gassing it. And I was like, man, they're gonna blow up the truck. And sure enough, well, I thought they blew it up. They overheated it because they were able to get it started after a while. Coincidentally, they were able to get it started right away after there was an altercation with a person going northbound. And I didn't hear like what all started it, but there was quite the language going on, and I saw the door fly open of the guy going northbound, and then the screaming and hollering and what appeared to be like an altercation. So the guy that was going northbound was like running southbound on the road in the slush mess on the road, right? And then when he gets back to his car, he's like literally yelling at the entire neighborhood. If anybody knows who those kids were, to report it because they got punched in the face. But they had been helping other people up the road and stuff. So I don't know what happened. Like I missed whatever caused the altercation. And but anyway, like Mark and I even went up in the attic trying to see what was going on. It's crazy out here. People are losing their minds in the snow. Oh my gosh. Nobody got hurt. I mean, nobody's seriously injured. It was just a lot of younger, there's a lot of testosterone flying out there right now. Or was, anyway. But anyway, well, I shouldn't just say testosterone because there was a girl out there too. And her arms were flinging, her mouth was running as much as the guys were. So anyway, it's a great way to start the holiday season. This snow has everybody really messed up though. This is crazy. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry. I'm gonna work on a card that's gonna fit in our pocket because I can measure that. And then I wanna figure out what I'm going to do for numbers so I can number this, even if I just stamp, you know, something on there. Oh, and I know, I was gonna try to print pictures of this snow for it. Okay, so here we go. This is going to be the end of day 1. I need to work out my numbers, and then so you guys will see that in day 2. And maybe that's something we work on in day 2 is getting those numbers made. So that way we're kind of set up and ready to go for the rest of the month. I'm really excited. I love this page. I love this spread. Now, I will say this. Maybe you don't want to put a real stick in your journal because maybe you don't want how much dimension that's actually going to add. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that sticks up probably 1/8 of an inch, okay? I don't mind, but again, I'm going to say it again, I am going to do just whatever makes me happy this winter because we're not where we're supposed to be, and so we are just doing the things that make our little happy hearts happy here as we proceed through this crazy season. We've never gotten snow like this since we've lived here this early in the year. It's so crazy. But anyway, so yeah. crazy. Okay, so we have our cardinal, and again, I did the diamond dust, some glacier paste. I did the diamond dust on the stick. This flips open, and again, I need to work this out, but this video is getting really long, and I want to respect that, you know, it's December daily, and I'm sure I'm not the only person that you're watching. And then this flips open. So we have, you know, a pocket here, journaling space there. I still need to come up with a word or something for here, but I will do that. I mean, I'm not done. Just because this is done like for this video doesn't mean I'm done working on these pages necessarily. Then we have this image, and I still have to fix her little dress, which I will. And then in here for the card, what I did was I printed out a picture of the backyard from this morning, and I took a little bit of mica spray to this white snowflake trim. This is frosted juniper, just to kind of, it's really white, and I wanted to just darken it up a little bit. And then I just made a note that I had taken that picture November 29th, and this is the lake effect snowstorm, because I have a feeling that this storm system is probably going to be one that's talked about for a while, considering that the Great Lakes haven't been this warm since 1995. So that's quite a while ago. But anyway, okay, well, thank you so much for joining me. Do make sure that you go check the link down below. It will have the advent calendar, or a link to Tracy's website to the advent calendar, I should say. So that way you can follow along with all the wonderful creators that are a part of this collaboration. And again, I do hope that you will stop by and continue to watch my December daily and what I'm going to do. I don't know yet. I just picked something and went with it, and I suspect that I'll be doing the same moving forward. But yeah, so thank you so much for joining me. Please make sure you're leaving positive feedback in the comments below. If you have negative comments, you can just go ahead and keep those to yourself. It's not a time or a season for negativity right now. So thank you for joining me, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. Remember, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.